log in Google Sheets. We're going to create a worksheet and embed a chart. Okay, green text means go and do what it says. Red text means stop and take notes. We'll turn in our notes at the end of this project. Any other color means read it and learn. Alright, write this down. Google Sheets is a spreadsheet program that is used to store, organize data, calculate and analyze information, and to predict or forecast the future to aid in decision making. In part 1, we're going to store and organize data. Okay, in part 2, we're going to calculate and analyze information, and in part 3, we're going to predict or forecast the future. So you should understand this. In part 1, yeah, there it is. So let's keep looking here, keep going. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a folder called Spreadsheets in your tech folder on your Google Drive, and you're going to create a sheet. So it's going to look a little something like this. Okay, so you're going to go to your Google Drive. Okay, you're going to search around and find your folder called Tech. You're going to create a new folder, so you're going to create a folder, and you're going to call it Spreadsheets, and then you're going inside that one. Once you click inside there, you're going to make a new spreadsheet. Okay, and when you open up that spreadsheet, it's going to look a little something like this. So the name of it is going to be time log. I named mine something crazy because I needed to, but yours should be called something like time log. Okay, and so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put in the title. Okay, you got to make sure you put a title up here too. But put a title, and then you're going to put days, and then you're going to put Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and totals, and then you're going to list out your different things. Now yours are not going to look like this. Yours aren't going to be these same ones. You're definitely going to have sleep, and you're definitely going to have school, and you're probably going to have eating, right? You may have some of these, but whatever your main categories were, put here at the top, and then put total. Okay, and so after that, then your job is going to be to put in the numbers. So you just type in the numbers. Don't worry about how it looks yet. It won't look exactly like this yet, but then just type in the numbers, how it works out, right? Okay, hit pause on my spiel and go do that. Okay, format your spreadsheet. So, ooh, I went too far. So we're going to merge the title, add color, resize columns, blah, blah, blah. We're going to do all this stuff. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to merge the columns. All right, so this thing right here that says My Days, we're going to click on this, and we're going to go all the way across, and we're going to merge it into one thing. Okay, so we're going to click. So we merged it, and then we're going to change the background color, and we're going to make it green because I love green. And if we wanted to be super cool Wildcats, we'd change the font to a gold color. Ooh, My Days. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do, and then you can change the font here. So if you want to, you click on here, you can change it to, we can change it to Georgia or whatever we want to do. Okay, so we change the font color, and then the cell. These things, each of these things are called cells. Okay, then you're going to do the same thing here. You can click on these. You can change the font. We'll change the font to Arial. We'll change. I like the size 11, and we're going to give it the background a nice baby blue color. Okay, that is not baby blue. Let's try this color right there. There we go. That's nice. Okay, now this is the total. This is the total, so we're going to bold that. And then these are not the total, so we're going to unbold these. So these are not bolded anymore. Okay, and then this one should be bolded. There we go. Okay, and so this one should be bolded. We're going to bold this one. Okay, and then the next thing we got to change the size. Like if these are too big, right, we grab right between there and we shrink these down to the right size. Go through and shrink all that stuff. Okay, good. All right, what is next on the list? It says merge the title, add color, resize columns and rows. Okay, change the font, add grid lines. Okay, so what we're going to do is I want a line under this. Okay, so I'm going to select this thing, and I'm going to say I want a line underneath it. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to add a line underneath this. Okay, and then the totals, I'm going to change the color of these as well. So I'm going to do this thing. Actually, here, one thing we could do is we can just select these and say, you know what, I want to copy that and paste that formatting here. Let's see what it does. Oh, it did it. Okay, and so we'll do it again. We'll copy this, and we'll paste it here. I'll probably lose my bold formatting. Okay, so I'll put that back to bold. Okay, so anyway, there's some things you can do. Alright, so next we're going to make sure you have to rename this. So rename this to my time or whatever you want to call it. Okay, you can add another sheet if you want. So you can have like sheet 2 here and then back to the sheet. But we don't have anything on sheet 2 yet, so we don't need to do that. Alright, so here we go. Change the font, add grid lines, name the sheet at the bottom. Okay, we did all that. So now we're ready for the next thing. Okay, so sum up all of your columns, add the fill handle, copy, blah, 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 blah. We're going to do all this stuff. Alright, so check this out. So we typed in all... Oh, you know what I forgot to show you? I've got to format the numbers. So you click on this thing and you say, I want this to be more formats. I want it to be numbers, and I'm going to increase the number or decrease the number of zeros. I want 1 0 on each of these. Okay. You could change them to dollar signs or percents, but I wouldn't do that. Make sure so you can go here and change it to numbers and that. Okay. Now we want to add these things up, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to click on a formula. A formula basically does some work for us. Alright, and so now if I can find the formula bar. Oh, there it is. Here, let me make this bigger so we can see everything. Okay, so you're going to go to the formulas and we want to sum it up. Okay, and it's like, well, what do you want to sum up? So you type in equals sum. So we click and we drag. And I want to add up all of this. And I'm going to hit enter. Okay, and it's going to sum that all up for me. Okay, and then I'm going to click here. This thing is called the fill handle, and if I click on that, I drag it down, and it does the same thing. Okay, so the nice thing is, so if I look at this formula, I double click, it's saying, hey, I'm summing up or adding up all these things for you. Okay, and so on and so forth. So this one's going to add up all of these for me. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing down here. I'm going to click right here. We'll do it a different way though. I'm going to type in equals. You always start a formula with equals, and I'm going to type in sum parentheses, and then I'm going to say, hey, I want to sum up, and I'm going to click and drag this range of stuff, and then I'm going to put in my last parentheses, and I'm going to hit enter. Okay. And so then I'm going to click here, and I'm going to click on the fill handle, and I'm going to copy that formula all the way over to here. Okay, and we can see that this is great. I've got 24 hours everywhere. It's like, oh, I made a mistake. This is 23 hours. It's like, I messed up, because you know what? If I look back at my numbers, I should have, so all these need to be 24 hours. Okay, you have 24 hours a day. That should add up. Okay. And just so you know, I added the sleep, like, so Monday, I added the sleep all to one day. So like on Monday, I'm just talking about the Monday. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. So let's see what is a column? Well, a column is this thing that goes up and down. Okay, it's these cells that go up and down. What is a row? These are rows. Okay, what is a cell? This right here is a cell. A cell is the intersection of the columns and the rows. It's a box that holds information. What is a formula? A formula is like a little mathematical equation that does work for you, like adding things up. What is the fill handle? The fill handle is this little thing that allows you to copy formulas over. Okay? Why is it better to use a formula than type? Well, it's better to use a formula than type because, for example, when I had this thing wrong and I had a 0 here, okay, and I had a formula here, if I go back and make changes, I don't have to add anything up again. It does all the changes for me. So the formula does all the work for me. Okay, and by the way, if you decide to type these numbers in and type these numbers in, you're going to get no points whatsoever, because the whole idea of a spreadsheet is that you do these formulas to save you work. Okay, part of it is that you can store data, which is what we did. It's a good way to store data. But the other thing that it can do is it can calculate these things, these totals for you. So that's the other half of it. Okay, and okay, let's see what's next. Alright, now we're going to create a pie chart. Okay, so I'm going to bring this back here. I'm going to make this bigger, and here's what we're going to do. We have to start off with the information we need. Okay, so we're going to start off with this information right here. This is our stuff. I don't need that, I don't think, and I don't need that. Okay, and so then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say I'm going to insert a chart. And it's going to take us a little while to figure out how to do this, but let's figure out how to do this chart. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, I want a pie chart, and I want this pretty pie chart right here. Okay, but it's like, hey, you don't have the right information for the pie chart. All right, well, let me go back here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to say, let's add a little bit of information. Okay, so we're going to also add another range. So we have our B3 through J13, which means this guy is B3 through J3. B3 through J3. Okay, so I'm going to add another range because that's not all the information we need. We also need, not that one, that was the wrong one. I want this one. I want these totals. Okay, so we're going to add all the way up to right here, and I'm going to click OK. Okay, now let's see if it still doesn't like it. So basically the problem is this. Okay, the problem is, look, this goes with this. Okay, this goes with this. That is grouping these things vertically, not horizontally. So we need to say, hey, these ranges, this is going to be vertically. Okay, and then let's see what this does for us. There it is. Okay, so you can see right here that I have my pie chart and it has my titles here. Okay, so let's go here and we're going to change this. We're going to, if it'll let us, no, it won't let us do it here. Okay, so we're going to go to charts. We already did that, and then we're going to go to customize, and we're going to change a couple things. So the title of the chart is going to be my time. Okay, the legend, we can move the legend around. I like that font size, that's good. The background, we can change the background color to whatever you want it to be. And let's go ahead and, is there anything more I could do? I kind of need to shrink that down a little bit. Let's see if there's more. Oh, there we go. No, that's it. You can play around with this. Oh, here we go. This right here, these are two. See how that doesn't show? We got to change this down to a little bit smaller. So we're going to make that 9 point. All of a sudden it shows. We're going to insert, and we're golden. Okay, so now we're going to scroll down. Oops, a little bit too much. A lot too much. Okay, and we're going to move this chart where it goes. Okay, so now let's take a look at this chart. And what does it tell me? So I can look at this. Here's the interesting thing about a chart. I look at this, and I've got all my data stored, but it's hard for me to really figure anything out from that. But if I look at the bar chart, I can see, like, okay, I spend most of my time at school. It's like, wow, school, I hope school is valuable to me. And then let's take a look at this. Primping, holy smokes, I spent that much time. I don't primp, this was from a girl, just so you know. Don't get the wrong idea about me. But this girl spends an awful lot of time primping. And so you can kind of get an idea of how you spend your time. Okay, that's the idea of the chart. So you can, by looking at this, you get a better idea visually of what you're doing with your life. Okay. All right, so let's see what else there is. Okay, why do we make a chart? It does not add any new information. Well, here's the deal. We already did all this. Okay, so the deal is this: we added this chart because even though the chart didn't add any information, we added all the information here. It actually made the information easy for us to understand because it put it as a picture, and pictures are more easy to understand than these numbers. So we can actually look at this and make decisions like, oh wow, I spend too much time primping, I shouldn't do that so much. Or like, wow, I spend most of my day at school, maybe I should actually try to pass Mr. Miller's class. It must be important. Okay, now let's take a look at another thing real quick. Let's go back up. I want to talk about something again. Okay, so basically Google Sheet is a spreadsheet program that is used to store. So we definitely did that today. We put our numbers in there and storing our information there. We organized our information in nice columns and rows. We calculated, right? We used the formulas to calculate things for us, and we analyzed the information, right? We looked at it and said, hey, I'm spending too much time at school, or not enough time at school, or too much time prepping. Okay, ready? Go on to the next one. Go on to part 2.